All right, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Space Bro Show. I think we're on episode 7 now, I believe. Yeah, it's 7. We're going to go with 7. I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then we'll turn it to 8 without telling anyone, so just ignore the first part of this video if you catch it later on. Either way, so it's been an interesting week. I'd say the most interesting part of the week has been testing 1.3. For those of you who could during the first part, I, myself, couldn't test it until a day or two ago when they actually patched it enough for me to be able to get it without falling through the hangar floor. But testing that's been awesome sauce since then. I had some good fun, as you might see over here on my screen if you want to check it out. I got a little video on Twitch on my highlight reel for Buggy Antics in ArtCorp, where I won't say perfected, but I did, do a good job of getting a handle on how to glitch through walls utilizing the buggy. Makes it a lot easier than sitting there wiggling your butt and trying to squeeze through all the other stuff. But, yeah, so with me tonight, I have Zealous, who may be AFK. I don't know. Are you back, Zealous?
I'm here.
There he is, Zealous Fox, as always. And then always, my good friend here, Mr. Charles Frederick, a.k.a. Kato.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? All right. So, have you guys having a good week?
Yeah, it was pretty decent.
Zealous,
pretty average.
It's all right, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody's still got some residual pump. We're really looking forward to 2.0. 3.1 went live today, which I haven't downloaded it yet, but I'm excited to, see if I see the same amount of smooth and polish in Arena Commander that I did inside the PTU. And then, hopefully the social module will remain stable so I can piddle around in there and do some of that stuff. Other than that, I think they started out the week with a little bit of stuff. What did we have? We had 10 for the All-Stars at the beginning this week on Monday, which, this I don't want to, for the sake of not making this episode of Mitachi bagging on everything CIG did, I don't want to bitch too much, but I will say this. I think of the 10 for fill-in-the-blank episodes, this one was very unimpressive for me. It was just not... I'm just kind of tired of it.
It was just idle chatter this time.
And that's fine. I'm glad they take the time to kind of, do the whole thing and try to give us something, but I don't know. It was idle chat. It was the point. It was the first 10-4 that I actually turned off. That I didn't watch the whole thing, to be honest with you. Read the transcript later. Still didn't see anything relevant. Didn't feel like I missed much. It was just them kind of, for a better lack of term, circle jerking around, I love all the guys at CIG. I love the producers. All the members there are great team members for CIG. But it just had no content for me. I'm not hey, let me tell you about, everything I do on my job, when we've had those episodes already. I mean, we've gone through this several times. We've heard what the art team does, and I know they tried to do all this different things and say, hey, this is how our team works together, but I don't know. I feel like maybe the new members to Star Citizen, maybe new Star Citizens found it interesting if they hadn't seen some of the previous ones. But for me, I wouldn't even consider myself an old school vet because I haven't even been here a year yet. But, I just wasn't impressed.
I mean, I'm not... I don't think I dislike it as much as you did.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice to see everyone kind of the pipeline of how they come up with concepts and then implement them. Nothing against the guy that was there for lore, but I mean, I don't know, that was the lore department was very
I like the positive spin you're trying to put on it. I like
the designers. I like the code guys and the physics guys and a lot of the framework. I like that. The lore I can, I don't know, kind of read the book.
It's like, I've been here for 2 years, and it's like, okay, this is something you basically just restated 30 times already.
It felt a little self-indulgent more than anything. It was just like, hey, look, we finally figured out our pipeline. Let's tell you about it again, and more or less, if it was a live interaction, if it was like they do, the special RTVs for subscribers or something, I think it would have went off better. But the fact even the questions they picked out were very just like safe, blasé, kind of like,
vague
what's
stuff.
your favorite color, type stuff. I just was not impressed with it, I guess. I mean, and I hate to say that because I do like every member of that team that was on the show, but it was not interesting to me at all. And I don't feel like it was necessary. I feel like I could have done with that. They could have wrote a 2-paragraph blog post about what they do, and I would have been fine with that. I don't know. I was hoping for a lot more, especially with the title of 10 for the All-Stars. I'm like, oh wow, this is gonna be great stuff, and yeah, no, not so much.
All right.
But either way, I mean, I think that, even down to the lore department, I think they do a great job. I think they got great stuff in the game. I think the pipelines that, we've seen all those guys start producing are great. I think the artwork, everything's good. Mechanics, tech, awesome. Maybe you guys shouldn't do any more of the 10 for the All-Stars because I think maybe that episode didn't really focus on what we're here for, and that's the content of the game. I think that's the thing. I mean, and I know you guys are probably in filler mode because I know everybody's busting their ass, working their ass off there, trying to get 2.0 in a better shape for them so it can get to us. So they probably don't have a lot to tell us. It's like, hey, we're still working on shit. I mean, there's not. So they're looking for filler episodes. But next time, if you just want to, put some people eating ice cream, I'd probably find it about as amusing on camera just to eat ice cream and say, hey, we're eating ice cream and we're CIG employees. Check it out. So that's what I thought of it. But anyways, and then we went into, we didn't really have anything through the rest of the week. There was a little bit of stuff. I mean, most of it was reiteration testing. I would like to point out that Eric McKetton put out a great post talking about missile mechanics, talking about, I can't find that one now. If you find the link, let's get it in chat somewhere again, Fred. I lost it.
Yeah, I can pull it up. I'll bring it up.
Great post. I mean, unfortunately, by the time we got a hold of it, it was a little bit, it still might be relevant. We don't know. I haven't fully tested everything in the 3.1 live drop, but it was the last iteration of 3.1, I think, E on the PTU, and so it was really good. And it's there in the chat, guys. If you have an opportunity, I know it's not clickable there, but we'll include it in the notes on the YouTube or whatever we need to do. But I think it was really, he had some pointed things about the missile observation, and if you have the time, I'd go on Reddit and support this post. It's really good. Because he even had some great video up there, and I'll find some of that too later on, where it actually showed missiles bouncing off the hull and reacting like really weird kinetically than what they're supposed to. I don't think they're supposed to bounce. I think they're supposed to blow up when they hit shit. So it was really, he's done some great testing, and if you haven't checked out him or his stream, you really should, because McKetton does some great stuff.
The only way I see a missile bouncing if it was fired too close to the ship. Or if it hit too soon.
Yeah, you're talking about the arming capability?
Yeah, like if it fired, or just like
even
torpedoes.
Then, I think if they want to do the proper reaction, the missiles should break apart and not impact. Right? Because it shouldn't bounce off something. It's not a ping pong ball. It should break apart and not be functional if they were going to do something like that.
And then we get the what will tank announcer are going, that one bounced.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just going to continue on like that. And but otherwise, I'd say everything I've seen in AC and stuff, even throughout the PTU, and I'm assuming it's going to be projected into what the live is now, it really polished. And I notice it's much easier on my machine even. So it doesn't take as much resources quite running Arena Commander as well as some of the other stuff. And then reading through notes, they've done a lot of optimization in that. There's a lot of good stuff happening. So, it's kind of exciting. So if you haven't got to check out the live, do what I'm going to do. Make sure to get it downloaded, get it in there, give them some feedback. Make sure it's where we want it at, and hopefully they'll keep focusing on 2.0 and go from there. So, what else we got? They did the FPS update. Yeah. Keep teasing me, guys. That's all I gotta say. Keep teasing me. Because I want this shit now. I mean, and the fact that you smacked 2.0 and Star Marine, on the same post update. I just call it the teaser post. It's just the big dick tease post from Mitachi every week now. It's like, oh yeah, check this out. We're so close. We got so much done. Can't wait for next week. See ya.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're not gonna have the Space Marine. We talked about it before. We're not gonna get Space Marine the same time at 2.0. 2.0 is gonna come first. But one thing we will be able to do, I feel, in 2.0 is go after possible AI pirates and actually participate in FPS style combat with the AI. You know, and of course, in the future, we'll have the simulation of FPS and that kind of thing. So,
which will be like an Array Commander type setup. It's going to be a respawn on the Star Marine stuff when we have that and all that.
Is it that video you're talking about there?
Which video?
I bet it's in chat.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look at it later. It might be. If it's the one where he's sitting there and there's missiles bouncing off his hull, I would say yes.
It's the Star Citizen in PTU 1.83 demonstration. A flaw in the missile imputation.
No, it's not that one. I already whispered admit the actual.
Yeah, we'll get it in the notes. We'll get it together and stuff. And we'll put it in the description stuff as we can. I will warn you, if you're watching my buggy post or any of the air stuff on YouTube, though, more than likely this show will have all the proper links below it. But like my buggy stuff, you got to go to Twitch because they mute all the audio because I like good music. And good music is just not acceptable for me to play unless I own the band or pay them lots of money, and it's just not going to happen. So.
Or own oh well, never mind that.
But Twitch didn't mute it. YouTube did. So there's still hope for Twitch. Also, just to reiterate on this posting here, one of the things I thought was cool is they did say that they finally feel like they've mastered the ships breaking apart when they're destroyed, which they'll break apart into 2 to 4 sections. Like the Connie will break apart in 4s, and it's only if you do utter damage to it. Like if you just do crushing damage, it won't just like hull, it'll entire decimate and like go into 4 pieces. That's effing awesome.
That was amazing. I read that. I'm like, that is really cool. The damage implementation that they're doing in this game is just mind blowing.
Absolutely.
And the best part is it uses less resources than most other games for lesser quality.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, you know, because other games, if they did it, they were talking about, and I can't remember where I was reading about that, if other games tried to implement the same things on their current engines, it was like, it would take up like 50 to 60% more resources than what Star Citizen is, which is mind-blowing to me because Star Citizen is a resource hog. But that's why most companies don't try to do it. It's not optimized to do that.
It's 75%.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. Like everything, Star Citizen doesn't really exist. It's impossible to exist.
You can't do that.
Yeah, it's not possible. But no, so they got that breaking down, which is really cool. They talked about all the FPS stop-start stuff. All the other things are working out really well. The other thing I was really, really excited about was the fact they're really starting to work, and with the station implementations for the different stations on the ship. So engineering, they're getting that online and getting some play testing for that. I was like, so the minute I heard that they're actually just testing out the mechanics for gameplay on that, I was like, oh my god, that's going to be real. We'll be able to have that. We'll be able to play around with the shields and the power and do the things and the stuff. So I can't wait to see what the interface looks like on that. And just all the different like components are coming together to like build the intimate gameplay of like what a multi-crew will be. Because it's one thing for us to ride around together, but for us to have job functions to make it relevant to where pilots feel like I want a crew because they have roles. They make my ship better by being here. That's a whole different ballgame. You know, because some people would be like, well, I want my friends to ride with me and man guns. Well, that's cool. But if you need people to man guns plus adjust the shields to where you're getting hit, hey, we're taking a lot of fire on the right, you know, it's like buff shields right side, you know, and you gotta have a guy for that. Because it's not like in the single-seaters where we just hit like the number pad and we're like moving our shields around, or we use voice attack and we're trying to do that. It's you need a person at that station to really give you that edge over the enemy. And that's going to be so much fun. I mean, I can't wait. I know you could probably do a highlight reel of me saying I can't wait. I probably have like thousands of them by now, but I mean, it just looks so good.
Don't worry, for all your ink, I can't wait. There's plenty of soon TMs.
Yes, there are. And, you know, the blockers are there. I mean, but you read about, like here, even some of the highlights there. It says, you go down here, ships will now, and some of the AI stuff's really interesting. It's like improve escape behaviors when a ship's hull's heavily damaged. That's pretty cool. So that way they're actually talking about the locomotion of the animation of the character when you're trying to get out of the ship when stuff's blowing up, right? So that's pretty neat. You get ships will be more accurate at avoiding obstacles. That's cool. And they're talking about AI ships, how they avoid obstacles, like, because they're adding a lot more things. They've talked about also in ArcCorp and in space how they're making it feel more alive with the traffic and making it not just like can animation ship flying by in ArcCorp all the time. They're going to be actual maneuvering and doing things and stuff. They're not just there for background at this point. They're trying to add it in when they go to the actual large world type stuff and make the ships react. That way when you go out and do AI, you'll have friendly and hostile ships around. When you're in UEE space, you'll have those protectorate kind of NPCs floating around that will react to things and do different things there. So, I mean, they're pretty far into like development on all these different systems and aspects. Will we get them in the beginning? No, probably not. But they are in the works, and it's not something like, oh, here's the empty space, good luck, you have nothing to do, and we're not working on anything else. No, I mean, they've already got mission sets they've talked about, right? They've got different types of mini gameplay, and they're already talking about improving and trying to finalize the game modes for both mining and salvaging. So we'll be able to practice with that. Maybe not at when 2.0 drops, but immediately afterwards. So that'll be like within the next few builds. I mean, sure, there'll probably be about 10, 20 stabilization patches after 2.0 drops, but the next major release for 2.0, like 2.1 would hopefully, or 2.2 would have these type of builds in them. What I'm hopeful of. So we'll see how it goes though. What else do we see? UI, they talked about tweaks to the quantum travel HUD, circles around points of interest, added quantum fuel consumption. I'm so mad reading this stuff because I actually want to feel it, touch it. It's like you're adjusting the fuel consumption amount. How do you know it's not a right amount now? We haven't tested it.
We're going to have to send a letter to SIG to stop releasing these weekly updates because they're just making Mitt drool.
They are, right? I think I'm going to have to get a little trough or a bib down here and do something.
You'll have to protect that brand new keyboard you just got. You don't want to get it all wet.
Yeah. Well, I haven't bought that one yet. I'm thinking about it still, but...
I thought... Oh, okay.
No, I'd love that one, but I didn't buy it, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was still $90. I was like, eh.
Oof.
Yeah. But it's
expensive.
$175 keyboard.
Oh.
So, but yeah, they're busting through all that stuff. And I love the list of blockers. It's only this big, Fred. It's that big.
I know they're making progress. I love it. And like, I'm super happy with the progress they've been making because, you know, the list changes every week, you know, and I like to assume that means that they're knocking things out and discovering new things and not just sweeping stuff under the carpet. You know, but even like the implementation of patches in the PTU, that blew my mind. You know, some days we get multiple hot fixes in one day.
Yep.
These guys are churning out code, and you know,
that's a great point.
Really appreciate
this week,
that.
I've never seen them drop. Well, what was it? 6 patches on 1.3 this week?
Yeah, they went from 1.3 and then 1.3 alpha all the way to Foxtrot. So that's
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's
so
7.
I think that's 7.
That's 7. I had to count my letters.
Build at 6 patches.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, some of them they dropped 2 in the same day. It was like boom, boom. We'll patch it again, just kind of fix it.
Yeah.
It was really good. And the secondary drop they did actually fix me falling through the floor, so I was ecstatic about that. I was like, oh my god, I'm not falling through the floor. I can
actually play.
I can go in the social module like 1 out of 1 times instead of 1 out of 20. Yeah, it was good. So yeah, so we're seeing a lot of that stuff get narrowed down and all that stuff. Now, I didn't get to see this. Did you see the little video?
Which one?
On the bottom of the work in progress stuff?
Oh, the little walkthrough of the station.
Yeah, let's look at that real quick. The station walkthrough.
Oh, is that the work in progress?
Yeah.
I did see that. I linked it in Discord, actually. Earlier.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it before we had to go live. So we're watching it live, so if I hate it, you guys will know immediately by my facial expressions. I'll be like... And that's interesting because that type of room, I'm going to go back here since you guys are already seeing it. That type of room is what I picture an actual, like, okay, spaceship, little, small accommodation room actually being. Not like these huge, like, dormitory, college dorm room like what we saw in, like, Gamescom, which was pretty expansive. But this is, like, what I picture for most starting rooms would be like.
That's like a stateroom. That would be very equivalent to what you'll see on current Navy ships for officers and VIPs.
Yep.
They get their own stateroom, and it's like that small desk, your own rack.
Yeah, basic storage, little table, stuff like that. You don't have like 7 other sailors all bunked around you.
No, that's for general enlisted.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it looks good. I like that.
Oh yeah, the fidelity is amazing.
I love when it says alpha. It's like, oh, alpha. Yeah, this is just alpha. I mean, if we hadn't followed this game and seen the fidelity of it the whole time.
Oh my goodness!
If I was looking at this first time, I'd be like, so we're gonna buy this game. Yeah.
The textures are not alpha textures.
They are.
But one thing you'll notice as they're walking through, they have a bunch of vending machines, and they're all the same company. Yeah. I was like. I'm sure they'll come out with.
Can we mix it
up? It's a
up?
placeholder. Yeah, it's absolutely a placeholder. But like, there's like so many of these vending machines.
And I do have to point out one other thing as you're listening to audio of this. Walking. I mean, I understand the whole echoing around the thing, but it's like.
Oh, it's too loud.
I don't know. Do you not have some sort of rubberized soled shoe that can be magnetized or something? It's like, does anybody wear sneakers? I feel like everybody here is wearing like those boots my wife wears to work. Like the hard-soled toed boots where we're like click, 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 click.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, I give props to the audio team, but
it's
walking
accurate.
on metal is very tedious. Like, listening to it as you're trying to go from one place to the next and just hearing stomp, 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 it gets annoying.
And maybe after they add better ambience, if they add NPCs in these stations and stuff's going on.
Oh, yeah,
maybe,
cover noise. That's true.
It'll probably be because it's really hollow right now. And, I don't want them to nerf it, then it makes big changes. So think about my complaints in your vision, because I don't know what you guys are thinking out there as far as the developers go. But, if they're going to be this empty, can we have a mute shoes button? Mute shoes. Just mute shoes. I love all the other noise. The music's good. Everything else. I just want to mute shoes.
Yeah. All these teams are amazing. They all do amazing. This, like you said earlier, they labeled this alpha. I have never seen textures this high on any alpha build.
I mean, we're looking at the hologram there, and it's just like, really? It's like, it's ship selection, all that stuff.
That looks like just a game that could be released today, and just no one's logged
Absolutely.
on.
And that's one of the things to see me. It's like, how much better are these images going to get? If this is alpha image, I mean, what's it going to be like?
I don't know that we'll see vast improvements over what we see during the development process.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I don't know. I don't know how they could get any better.
I really don't either. I'm sure they. Well, you know what it is. It all boils down to lighting. We can adjust the lights. We'll put LED bulbs in here instead of like the regular incandescents, and it'll be amazeballs.
But saying that, and then seeing the new damage and missile animations in 1.3, guys, if you haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God!
Beautiful. The missile streaming, you can see missiles a lot better now.
Yep, Star Citizen 24, they got it right there on the page still. I mean, it's worth looking at for sure. All the damage systems, like what they're working on, is so good, so good. I know we always tout about it, but I mean, it's just amazing. The other thing is, there's been a lot of good player stuff they're putting out on these maps since they've released the live map of the universe and stuff. We're starting to see some of these more artist-based maps that are 2D maps that are really functional, and they look good. I mean, these guys are doing great jobs. I can't remember which artist did this one. I have to look. But
yeah, it looks like a subway, map.
Absolutely. That's the first thing I thought about. Is like, this is a good subway map. Yep.
And it's much easier to read.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. It's a flow chart. It's not just a map. It's like, oh, I can go from here to here to here, and it's easy to see.
As an FC and EVE Online, these type of things were invaluable to us, because when you're trying to make quick command decisions about jump points moving around, trying to go through gates or anything, these type of maps are much more functional than that 3D map. The other one's pretty, but I guarantee when your guys are dying on the field and you're like, well, let me look at this amazing navigational three-dimensional map, they don't give a shit. They're like, where do we go?
Right.
So,
but the only issue about like doing a map like that is, okay, this is the static part, but in the future they're gonna have jump points that deteriorate that you can get around willy-nilly too. So like if you could have an updatable map like that, I think that would be an amazing strategical tool.
Oh, I agree. I think it's going to be good. You know, but again, static's always good. We had wormholes in EVE where they'll tear through space temporarily too and all that. But I mean, the tactical relevance is seeing where you can pinpoint stuff, and then that'll also make, from a military standpoint, having those type of scouts and explorers and exploration as a tool, even the military really needs. So that way you can actually use those type of pilots and those guys skilled in those avenues and professions to find you better portholes, to move through space, to be able to get to where you need to go, not only for offensive stuff, but defensively. A great way to withdraw from battle. If somebody's covering the jump point so you can't escape a system, find a new way out. I mean, that's really cool stuff. All those. I think
a navigator is going to be an immensely important role in this game.
Oh,
honestly.
Huge. You know? And the bigger the ship, the more roles there's going to be on it. I mean, your radar guy, oh my God. I mean, really, that's
right.
You know, especially if he can do live tweaks to the radar to expand your range, improve functionality on that. That's going to be really important.
I don't see the navigator being very important for a large vessel, though, because this is basically saying that you can go in a straight line, basically.
Well, unless he can optimize different things. It depends what sub-roles they give him and stuff, you know, because navigation is about plotting.
No, I'm saying, like, because it can only fit through big
This is
jump
true,
points.
but what happens if your navigator can affect fuel consumption as a perk? That would be cool, because he determines how far you can travel, where you can go and stuff, so maybe an optimized path by a navigator plot would reduce fuel costs. There could be all kinds of perks they could add in like that.
Well, what about on a big capital ship like that? Say you have a fleet of small and medium ships. You're trying to get into combat. You know, you're a fast response team. Yep. You know, say this navigator on the capital ship has to figure out how to navigate the entire fleet, not just the big ship.
This is true.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
he can plot for the whole fleet.
And I'm pretty sure they can send out like.
Well, if you're splitting the fleet, it's no longer a fleet until it rejoins.
Right,
well,
but
it also depends how the mechanic works.
With a rapid response, right? You want your guys to get there as soon as you can, and you'll get there when you can.
If you're trying to intercept somebody, you can take your medium stuff, and the larger ships can get there later on.
That brings up a good point. In EVE Online, we had a mechanic known as a fleet warp. And if you were in the hierarchy of when you could squad, because they haven't added squad grouping yet, you know, in this game they haven't added to where I could mark you friendly or foe, or group you into a squad of ships or anything like that. So one of the things that we had in EVE is you could actually join squads. I believe it was 6 to 8 per squad, and then those guys could join, like, you know, larger divisions and stuff like that inside the grouping, up to like, I think it was 250 players per fleet you could have of whatever variety. But what that enabled us to do was not only a command structure for signaling, because you could do automated signaling and ping points, which would be a radar guy's more another job for him, but you would also be able to do, if you were the squad commander or the leader of any one of the tiers, you could do what's a command as a fleet warp. So if they plot a desto, you could actually engage, and it would automate all the other ships to engage warp at the same time. But the only way you flew as a fleet is if everybody aligned to the nav point, got to their optimal warp speed, right? Because you have to increase your base speed to wherever your warp kicks off at. In this case, a quantum drive or whatever else. And then you would fly through space, but only as fast as your slowest ship. So it would optimize the warp speed for everybody, that we would all jump in like you see in Star Wars, like 5 Star Destroyers go boom in at once. There you come in together, and that's how you stay as a group or a formation and come into a fight. And that would be interesting mechanic for them to add in this.
Yeah, I think one difference though that we're going to see is, I think going through the jump points is going to be a lot more active than just, going there and then you miraculously appear. We actually have to navigate through these jump points and dodge things, and it's definitely going to be a difficult thing to do, I think.
I think so too. I'm thinking more of in-system warps, because even in Eve, you had to gate travel. You had to jump through individually. They give the order, but there's no group gate jump. But in-system, like say you come through a jump portal in Star Citizen, and the combat was on Planet Vega over there, right? Your jump point's not necessarily right by Planet Vega. You have to warp or quantum drive, in this case, across space. If you could do it as a group and come in on an enemy position, because the worst scenario you have is you run into a hostile blockade, right? And you have ships lined up. Like the way I would do it was I would have my Idris, several other cruiser-class ships, and fighters all lined up right there. So when you come out of your quantum drive, we're just killing you one at a time. Unless you could group synchronize. But if you could warp in as a 6-ship team, like everybody aligns to your desto, you quantum drive as a group at the exact same moment, you travel in the same speed based on your slowest ship. So when you come out of quantum drive, you all hit the field together. That provides a lot better combat offensive capability than coming in onesie-twosie and just getting blown out of the sky.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one of the things, and I know that that's pretty advanced mechanics for where we are in this game now, but I'm just saying it would be a really cool consideration for fleet travel, so that way you're not only limited to that. Plus, let's look at the ships that don't have big cruise ships. Some of these guys that have teams where there's 6, 7, 8 fighters, if you're
talking about like jumping together, as in, well, not jumping, but leaping with the quantum drive.
That's what I'm saying. In-system quantum driving, I don't think it'd be a fair mechanic to be able to jump through a portal or go any of those type of things or hit a wormhole as a fleet like that. I mean, if you want to try to do it and all kind of screw through the corkscrew of death, that's
stupid idea.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. It sounds... Because there's no way your whole fleet's going to fit through there. And if they make the temporary ones mass-based, you could jump 5 guys in and maybe only 3 come out because maybe you disturbed all the mass of the jump portal to go through it.
Have they talked about that? Like doing a mass-based system?
On the temporary ones. They glanced over it, I think.
Isn't that just like Eve?
That's exactly like Eve. Because there was no way to predict what the mass would be, but you could search out different wormholes in space, and they had different masses and stuff. And
it spits out half an Idris.
Yeah.
So what happens if it collapses on you? Do you lose your ship?
In Eve, what happens is they have what's known as K-space, which is wormhole space. So it works a little different. So you have a wormhole open up, and there's a actual system on the other side of that wormhole. Then you find another wormhole to get out to regular space. So there is a void of space in between known space. Right? So you go...
So you kind of hang out in limbo until you find some way to leave.
And use a probing system where we drop probes, you scan out a wormhole to begin with, you find it, you jump your whole fleet into it, or whoever you can, and then you'd go into that system, probe out another wormhole, and then you leave out that one. Usually we had scouts...
Split your fleet up in
Well, usually you had scouts predetermined find both wormholes to in and out before you even jump your fleet in. So you'd find the in and out, determine the mass. We had mass calculators, make sure our fleet would hit the right mark. Because if you exceeded the mass, it would just collapse immediately after you. So what you'd have to do is a simultaneous jump, and hopefully you got everybody. You take the critical ships in, and then everybody's trailing along behind who's not real important. It's like, good luck. Maybe there's enough for you. And then you jump them out the other side. But in this case, this is just an A to B connection. There is no, void of space. You're going through navigating this portal, and when you come out, you come out. So
yeah, so when you exceed the mass, it just automatically like closes behind you.
yes. So
So like
it would close
there's
the
no way.
entrance, I would think.
Right.
Until you exit the other side, then it would close that side. It would be hilarious if it closed you in the middle of it. But I think it would
Right.
also be very
That's when we
impractical.
get Zealost's prediction of half an Idris and
Yeah, it's like
two
half a
completely
ship
different
broken in half,
systems.
floating out, venting people. It's like, oh.
It's like, what was it? It was one of the endings of, I think, Halo 3 that happened to an UNSC, like, frigate.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in those mechanics to see. And, I draw a lot of parallels to EVE because that's what I had the most experience with that has even any type of mechanics that are even close to what we're experiencing here in my book. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of that. One point that I was a little bit concerned with, which I guess is not a concern, it's to be expected, was we saw an RTV today. They were doing a little bit of, the Q&A they typically do and all that. But there was a question that was brought up that where somebody asked, he said, now in Alpha 2.0, will it let you play with your friends on your user list? And the answer was they're unsure. And this is what Disco said. Last Disco heard, you'll be able to see specific instances that you could go into, and if your friends are in an instance, you'll be able to coordinate with them to kind of Q-sync, for those of you who remember me from Eve, that old term, Q-sync together to try to get into it. But the intention is to get there to where you're all playing with just your friends and all that stuff, and you could hop in with your buddies and all that. That's a huge point that I think, I guess I missed. I thought maybe they already had that kind of panned out a little bit on how you could play your friends, because I don't know about you. I mean, it doesn't matter so much PTU side or an alpha or beta, but I'm not just gonna. There's no match make. There's no hey in chat. Hey, you want to get in my cutlass and fly around, buddy? Just random people. You want to be able to invite your friends to get into the ships to go do stuff. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. If you can't invite your friends to get in the ships to go do stuff, it's not going to be nearly as fun. Sure, I'm gonna do it anyway for a while, but eventually I want to work with my team of people so we can get better at what we're doing. That's the whole point. So hopefully that's not something that's just, yeah, eventually we'll do it.
Well,
I'm hoping it's on the high level part.
Again, though, this is Alpha 2.0.
Yeah.
And it's no indication of what the actual game is going to be like.
No, I mean, they'd have to have that fixed by game.
So,
there'd be no point in having organizations if you couldn't play together. I mean, give me a break. I just hope, I would hope, I don't know if I would want them to hold 2.0 till they could have that or not, but I'd probably take it as whatever I could. Just give me the game, But I would hope that would be on their high priority list of like, I want to be able to play with my crew. I want to play with my organization. I want to be able to do these things. And that's pretty important for the overall concept of like what anybody's trying to do in game. It is a multiplayer game. I mean, I know people are going to play with NPCs and all sorts of crap in there, but I mean, at the end of the day, MMOs are meant to play with other people in one fashion or another, whether it's voluntary by having your friends on your ship or involuntary by having hostile forces board your ship and take all your shit. So I think it's an important mechanic, and I really hope they pay close attention to it, and I'm sure they will. I just want it done yesterday, as everybody else does, right? They also put out some other things. They talked about large ship owners would get a loaner Connie in 2.0, so you'll get one, Fred. You get a free Connie as a test ship in 2.0, is what they're saying.
Wait, everyone gets a Connie?
If you are a large ship owner and you didn't have another multi-crew ship, you'd at least get a Connie or Retaliator based on whatever large ship you owned.
Does that mean I get both?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? I think because you own an Endeavor, you'd be able to get the Retaliator. But they're saying if you don't own that much, if you own one of the lower large ships, you would at least get a Connie to fly around.
I have
makes me happy.
so I will get an Andromeda for test flight.
Yeah.
Just like since like right now, since I have the I get a free F7C since that ship is not flyable.
Yep.
Speaking of Retaliator, did you see the YouTube video today where people were using the torpedoes of the Retaliator?
I saw one supposedly.
There's
yesterday.
There's a much better one that
Okay,
shows
'cause
bottom doors
yesterday-
opening up and the missiles coming
Okay,
down.
that would be an actual one that I have not seen. If you find that link, I'll watch that too.
Okay.
The one that I had, what said it was shooting torpedoes, but I'm sorry, they're definitely missiles because they had the smoke trails. They were very fast to target. Those were absolutely missiles. And the guy walked by the torpedo bay, and there's no torpedoes in it, and the doors are open. So I don't think that was torpedoes at all.
Wait, what video?
The previous video, the one we saw a day or two ago. I didn't see any actual torpedoes get launched in that.
The torpedoes, I will say, the torpedoes look just like missiles.
They do? But you actually see them exiting out of the torpedo bay.
I found it. Here, why don't we just...
Yeah, we'll just pop it on. Let's do it.
Okay.
Put it in TeamSpeak or something so I can make it easier. Because Skype is terrible when I have to move cameras around and stuff.
Okay.
Or you can put it in Discord. Any of the above, other than Skype.
Make up your mind, man.
Anything. I got it right there. That's good. Anything but...
Put it everywhere. I put it everywhere.
Put it all, baby. Give it all to me. Anywhere we can do it. Let's do this.
So... okay, I'll wait until you bring it up.
It's pulling up now. Oh, wait. We have to have a Roscola Mermaid's Tale commercial. All right, there we go. Past that.
You guys gotta watch this. This is amazing.
German. Okay, so he's walking over here.
So okay. I just gotta mention this. One thing that
go
is a mechanic that they're using is the larger the missile, the longer it takes to lock on. So,
I'm good with that. I mean, that makes sense. As long as they also scale, the ability for a larger ship would be easier to lock on than a smaller ship.
Well, it's not gonna be moving as fast, so I think it'll be easier for you to keep it in front of you.
Well, I mean, just speed-wise, because I mean, if you could lock on, I would lock onto an Endeavor much faster than, say, a Merlin, time-wise.
The torpedoes have a 30-second fuel time as well.
Okay.
Yep, those are torpedoes.
Those are definitely torpedoes. Yep. They're definitely taking a long time to lock on. This guy did it smart because he actually... Yep.
Yeah.
He actually...
The other one, I thought they were just missiles, but
they
I don't
looked
know
like it. They might not have been, now that I look at this. But, I mean, he actually showed it launching off the ship, which was much smarter.
Yes. How cool is that?
That is really cool. I think it's a little overkill for the ship he's going after, but...
Oh, definitely.
Torpedo!
Boom!
Well, and you'll see how many points he gets. Huh?
It's like, it was there.
Yep.
Right, and you'll see he only gets so many points because it was overkill. He gets 64 points for the kill.
Yeah.
It goes into a damage state. There's more more torpedo stuff. But yeah, that was pretty much just watching it shoot down and out. Like, it's very gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks really good. Hit fast forward here again to see it one more time. But yeah, that's really awesome. I'm excited about that.
Is that the one that you linked in TS?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, the one that you linked yesterday, Zell, like, I was being skeptical, and I thought those were just missiles. So I think what you linked was actually a Retaliator with torpedoes.
It just didn't really look
from
at it
the cockpit, it looks just like a missile.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of expecting a little bit easier to tell a difference between the two in flight, but realistically, you can't. And for all our viewers, when the missile's in flight and that smoke screen, all missiles do that now.
Yeah.
The explosions look a lot better.
Oh,
like this is
better.
This is what 1.3 looks like.
Yeah, this is 1.3 graphics, and it's optimized So I'd also like to keep saying it's optimized. It plays so much better on all systems than it did before, like Arena Commander in general now. The smoothness is there. When you're like jerking around, if you have a system that wasn't quite hanging with it, and you experience 1.3, you're going to feel like, wow, this feels a lot different, because you're actually going to be able to see the smooth animations and polish on it. So, but that's great. Yeah, I like that video a lot. We'll have to save that one. Might even put it up on the site. So good stuff. All right, well, what else do we have here? They said they're getting ready to do questions for a Cutlass Q&A with John Crew over in the UK. Oh, yeah. They also, I wanted to tell everybody about this for sure. November 19th is a live stream that will kick off the anniversary sale. They have confirmed that. There will be cool stuff on the live stream. They're going to give you 20% off all physical goods, but not the Connie model. Which I don't, okay. It's 20% off the subscriber price, more than 20% off non-subscriber price, and it says it'll be a straight $80. So
yeah, that's the Connie model.
Okay.
The Constellation model. At first they asked, does that include the Constellation model? Because Ben didn't think it included that.
Yeah.
His wife confirmed, yes, it's $80. And she said it wasn't 20%, but then Ben was like, well, isn't it normally 100 and it's 80?
Yeah.
So that whole $80 thing was in reference to the Constellation model that you can buy and put on your desk if you want.
That's cool. They also said there will be ship sales, but not on sale. So that just means, like always, they're bringing back ships and putting them up for you, your ability to purchase during the anniversary week. And it says there will be, there may be even a new ship. They don't know yet. There might be another new ship. If it wasn't bad enough that they're re-releasing ships that we all want, they're going to maybe put a new ship for us to throw in consideration too. And maybe a chance to buy the Caterpillar. So, start thinking about your budgets.
Right. The biggest thing that they were stressing during that episode of Reverse Verse is the 20% discount only applies to physical physical materials. It doesn't include it. That doesn't encompass the ships. No. So you're not going to get 20% off the ships.
It's basically the swag store. If you want the T-shirts, the models that sit on your desk,
whatever.
or model,
that store changes every week too.
Yeah, whatever they got at the time. Mouse pads, they're $40, $30 mouse pads. You might be able to save 20% on. Whatever it is, it's off the swag in the store. Not the digital download stuff, not the assets for the game, those things. But
they won't have hoodies until early next year. They're putting in.
It's so sad. No hoodies.
Polos.
I wanted a hoodie.
No polos. Who wears polos? Seriously.
I wear polos.
I wear a polo to work, but I'm not going to wear a Star Citizen polo.
Well, I don't
to work.
know. I might wear one on broadcast if somebody sent me a Star Citizen polo. Hint, hint.
What? It is your birthday coming up, isn't it?
Well, but I'd rather have spaceships. Come on. Sell the polo and get spaceships. That's the way it goes. Yeah, so, that's really been the whole week. We've seen a lot of good stuff. There's been a lot of crowd feedback and stuff. They're still kind of hanging on the residual, hey, we did CitizenCon. Look at this stuff from CitizenCon. Hopefully that's started to filter down. I know it was the big annual deal. But I don't know. I want to see some more new stuff. I want to see some more progress and updates on what they're doing now. And they're doing a pretty good job of that. But if they could get us back to like the 10 for the chairmans, if they could get us back to some of the other good content at the beginning of the week where we're not just waiting until next Thursday for them to do Around the Verse and hope for the best, I'd feel better about it. Bug Smashers is great. Doesn't give me any content. Find it amusing to watch sometimes. Not really informative on the game whatsoever. So, again, they're releasing a lot of filler content, and that's okay. But I'd rather, every time they tell me, you guys make this possible with your subscriptions, for that subscription money to go something more content related to what they're actually giving us. Even if they decide to do their own theory crafting episodes, that would be great to me. I'd like some Q&A feedback on the economy. I'd like some Q&A feedback on, get McKetton involved there, see how missiles work. Let's talk about that, what they're thinking, what we're thinking. let's get some live feedback, you know? So that's it. Oh, that's, they were doing their transcript. We love INN too. But don't worry, because we'll always be pimping. Star Citizen 24. There you go. I know. Val was about to get mad. He's like, why is INN up there? Like, it's all good.
And I understand.
I understand. Right here, though, guys, don't forget, just as always a reminder, we are currently fleshing out the last entries. We only got 7 days left on this contest, guys, for a $50 Star Citizen gift card. Yeah, all you have to do is go to www.starcitizen24.com, and you see it blanketed in the channel. You see the logos all over the place. Right here, somewhere, there. Boop, boop. All that stuff. Also, we link the latest information we can, all the videos, the ATVs, the reverse verses, all the stuff we try to put up there for you guys. If you have user content and you want to get it out there and you want to publish it somewhere, we're happy to look at it and maybe get it up on the site for you. Just give us a holler. Let us know. You can get a hold of us on Discord at any of the channel links below on my stream, down that way, over on that side below Fred. And then they got all sorts of other different information and stuff that we try to get on here. Polls, contests. If you have a contest that you want to promote, we're happy to link it up on the site. Let's just get it up there and get more info on it. We want a little more content if we can. What else we got? We got that. We'll be doing live streams through the whole rest of the weekend, 10 p.m. CST as I work. You also have Monday. We're going to start doing power hours during the week. I think we're going to buff up the stream schedule a little bit because I'm going to be working on some new video content with Fred and Val and all the other guys. We're trying to get some new special features out there and videos and all that good stuff for you all. And other than that, I think that's about all I got. I don't know. You got anything else, Fred? I think that's it.
Wait.
What's up?
We got the Xi'an Scout.
Oh, the Xi'an Scout? Yeah, the Xi'an Scout. It's a ship. It'll be out there.
I think we talked about it before, but
No, we didn't.
with the well, not on a Space Bro show, but
Yeah,
in
the Space
its
for sure.
stream before. It looks gorgeous.
It does look really pretty.
When they were first streaming the pictures, I thought it was concepts for the Dragonfly, so we were going to see a concept fit. But come to find out, no, they were using Dragonfly, like the animal, to...
It was using... It was a fly's eyeball.
Right. So, that's what they were using for inspiration on the
Xi'an Scout.
Tomato.
Yep.
No, it's a very cool looking ship. I think
cool.
it looks really cool.
I find one thing interesting. If you look at some of the ship comparison size stuff, like even the last one we showed when we were on stream the other night, I think it's the same episode we were BSing about Star Wars. When we did the fly-throughs through the Bengal carrier and all that, they had one inside there, a model of it, and it's actually taller than what the hangar bay was. It was actually kind of glitching through there with its wings fully expanded. You know how it goes up and down? Because I don't think they had a model that was collapsed. And I was like, how the hell are they going to fit that in any of these hangar bays? So it is a cool-looking ship, but it's deceivingly tall when it's fully deployed, with the way it stretches and articulates its top and bottom arms. So pretty cool stuff. Why is that not doing that? All right. Anyways, but with that, guys, yeah, I want more now. I want all of it. All the stuff.
But I'm still confused as why is the Xi'an Scout a two-man ship?
I don't know. I mean, unless it's something for E-War or communication gameplay or something. I mean, they probably have... I mean, the Herald's a two-man ship.
What about the Reliant? Is that two-man?
Yeah, but the Herald is a specialist ship, and this is a scout fighter.
Yeah.
What about the Reliant?
So I don't
the Reliant's two-man as well.
It's just like the Reliant.
I'm guessing it's probably like a gunner driver thing.
I think they just want your buddy to be able to ride with you because they're all focused on multi-crew.
Okay, Fallout says the gun is a man turret.
Ah, gotcha.
So one guy flying, one guy shooting.
You have to have a dude if you want to shoot. There it is. Yep. All right. I think we've done a whole hour already. Time is up for us. So guys, once again, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you to Fred. Thank you to Zealous for being on the show tonight. You know, thank you for Fred for sponsoring the $50 Star Citizen gift card that we'll be giving away.
Make sure you suckers enter it.
Yeah, enter that stuff, guys. Get on there, clicky clicky. You can get tons of entries every day, actually, on that stuff. So let's get it, make it a good week of getting all the entries in on that. We'll get some links up for it. Oh, Val wants to know if we're going to dress up for Halloween next show. Probably not. Probably not. You might get me to wear a funny hat. Maybe I'll Tokyo it up, and I'll do my Tokyo impressions. Of course, that might get me banned off Twitch if I do Tokyo impressions. I don't know. We'd see. But either way, we're going to have a good time, but we will be giving away on the next episode of the Space Bro Show. That's when the entry will be drawn for that, and then we'll be announcing what's coming up for the next month. For all sorts of good stuff, different projections and all that stuff. Thank you for everybody who's been graciously contributing to the promotion to help me get a rework on my workstation here so my computer can be up to snuff and ready to stream all the time. Hopefully by the beginning of next year we'll be able to get something going on that. Thank you for everybody who just supports the shows with your mods. Thank you for everybody in Discord who's been hanging out, posing questions, doing all that stuff. And if you haven't joined any of the Discords, be sure to do that, guys. And yeah, just thanks everybody. You guys have been awesome. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and let you go. If you want to hang out with us, we're going to be BSing and stuff at the after show for a little while. You'll probably see me stream random shit while I try to work out some other stuff. But other than that, yeah, we'll play a couple games. Get into that. But until then, we'll see you next week, guys, on the Space Bro Show. See ya.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys. See you later.